All right, so this one's going to be a little different. We're going to do a little breakdown of actions that we should be able to control when we're dancing. Uh, we're going to combine these, ultimately, when we're dancing, we're going to combine these actions to make dancing. But I'm going to break them down so you can have some drills to help you condition the body and understand the mechanics of the body. So that way, when it comes to someone asking you to do something, whether that be your teacher, yourself, or your coach, you're able to achieve that no matter what is being asked because you have body control versus having been taught the step or the pattern that they're talking about specifically. So here we go. This is staying on American rhythm for our cha-cha. So let's start with a real simple action, just using our ankles. So we can bring both feet together and roll up to the top of the ball of the foot and then back down. We should be able to do this with two because it's really easy. But it would be nice if you could also practice doing it with one. So where that action is going to be applied is, easiest place to say, let's do a split weight, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And you'll use that right leg, well, whichever leg is back. We'll use the back leg and we're going to press that ankle. The goal when doing these isolations is going to be to do just that. Keep them as isolations. Don't do multiple things. So if the ankle is the focus, don't let yourself also swing your hip forward or turn your body or break your spine. Try to keep everything where it is and just isolate the use of the ankle. It will have an effect on the body for sure, but when you feel the effect that it has on the body, try not to add in new movements. So you should really get used to doing this with both feet. So if you switch it up, and then your goal is to lengthen the process in which you're able to do that isolated action. So if you start off just being able to do it here, just one, that's fine. But then work on doing 1, 2, and then work on doing 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, you get the idea. Keep asking for more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your goal is to take it as long as you can and be able to mark as many different places along the line. The longer you stretch out each movement, the easier it will be to combine it with other movements when it comes time to do so. But if you start combining too early, you don't understand the movement that you're trying to make work with another movement. So ankles is the first one. Second one is just bending and straightening the knees. We're still in American rhythm, so when we land to a soft knee. So we want to get used to the idea of what straightening your leg just by itself feels like. This one is not nearly as important as your ankle, but you should still be able to isolate and control your body in this way. So meaning I should be able to keep my body exactly where it is, let that soft knee pop out, not having brought my hip forward or my head forward or really added in any other action. It's surprising how many different things different people will add in, including myself. So we have the bending and straightening of the knee. You should be able to do this with both legs and not interfere with any, specifically the hips or the upper body, but really with anything. You should do it on both legs. So if we take just those two pieces, well, I'll take us through some more isolations first. So the next thing we want to do, we'll split our legs again. We're going to feel swinging of the hips. Swing it back, swing it forward, swing it back, swing it forward. One thing we want to be careful not to do here is rotate. So if I face you with my hips, swing would look more so like this. Rotation would look like this. So we want to try not to rotate, because rotating is going to take your weight off the ball of the foot into the outer edge of the foot, whereas swinging will keep you staying on the ball of the foot. So swinging, again, an easy way to do this might be go side by side rather than forward and back. So if you go side by side, you can swing, and then that rotation isn't encouraged as much in a side by side action as it is in a forward and back action. So when we split our feet apart, we now have this angle that the hip kind of wants to, or not necessarily wants to, but can rotate to manage. And we want to keep that hip from rotating and just really feel swinging forward and back. This is good. This is bad. That's bad. This is good. Bad. So this is swinging of our hips. It's not to say that you won't rotate, but for now we're not going to worry about it. We're going to focus on just that swing. The other isolation would be your upper body. So if you can, just bend into both knees, throw 2 hands up, and you're gonna try and take one side of your rib cage forward and then the other side of your rib cage forward. Do not move your hands as you do so, otherwise you're just turning your torso. Keep your hands still and stretch one side to your hand, then the other side to your hand. This is really a rib and a lat movement. So I'm dropping my lat down on one side, and the other side is stretching and lifting my rib cage. So I have a stretch. Oh shit, it's good to see it. Stretch and a lift, stretch and a lift from a rib cage, and a drop with a lat from the other side. So then one drops and the other stretches. One drops and the other stretches. So we're going to get used to creating that action up top. Now I'm going to do this last part quick, but this is going to be starting to time them together. So you can go getting that split weight, find that ankle action again, just isolate so that nothing else is going in there. You'll notice, just to talk a little bit more about it, if I do isolate my ankle and I stretch it as far as I possibly can, I won't complete the weight transfer. I'll still be very much weighted on my back leg here. So if you feel that you're back over top the front leg and trying to point the back leg to create to use the foot, that's bad. You've already missed your opportunity to be good. So keep the weight back, work the ankle, and stay on that ball of the foot. Ultimately, it's going to be your hip swing that's going to finish your weight transfer. But to time this stuff up like I was talking about. So we're going to do soft knee in the front, straight leg in the back. We can start here for now. And we're going to activate the ankle. As we activate this ankle, before you do it, keep in mind that you're going to harmonize this now with the straightening of the knee. So you're going to harmonize the ankle with the straightening of the front knee. So get that soft knee in the front, get the ankle ready behind, start to stretch that ankle, and get that straight leg as soon as you can. Now here, your hip should still be back and lifted, and you're going to now swing over a straight leg to finish your weight. When you swing, if you did the ankle correctly, you should still feel the ball of the foot back here. So when you swing, you should feel the weight roll to the inside edge ball of the foot behind. And then the most common problem that we run into when we swing is the rotation, like we discussed before. So when you're swinging your hip forward, do not let it rotate to the outer edge of the foot that you're moving to. Keep swinging it to the ball of the foot. Your goal would be actually to recreate the ankle action right here. So you want to feel your hip swing so high in front of your hip, feeling that inside of the leg stretch. And that should, if you feel that go all the way up, that should start to encourage the ankle underneath to lift again. That's good. We want to keep continuity through our feet. So let's say that we do that again from the beginning. Straight legs, isolate that ankle real quick. Feel the isolation of that bent knee. Now we're going to harmonize those two. So really, when you did that, you should have done it slower than I have. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way we can say 1 and 2, the knee should be straightened by. Now 3, 4 of the ankle use is going to be swinging the hip. 3, 4. Because you want to still feel that ankle from behind. Now I'm going to keep swinging that hip, and that's going to get that inside edge ball of the foot behind me. And I'm not going to let this rotate out. I'm going to keep it in. And then here, I'm going to swing it up to really engage the standing leg now. So that was the forward leg. So it should start to lift that heel behind. You want to resist this because ultimately you're going to have to time that with your upper body as well to go to the next step. But here we go. So upper body timed in with. Real quick, just forget about the knee and isolate that ankle again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on 1, I want you to focus on taking that rib cage on the same side of the ankle that you're using and stretching it 1, 2, 3. And let's say on 3 and 4, we want to start thinking about the lat. So it's going to be rib cage 1, 2 during ankle, and then lat 3, 4 during the ankle as well. That's not to say that you work them that way. You don't work your lat and your rib cage while your lat stays still and then hold it while your lat works. They will work harmoniously. So as you're bringing your lat, really, if you can, you want to be thinking about also letting as you're bringing your rib cage off that ankle, you want to also be thinking about letting the opposite lat drop during that same time period. The hard part about thinking about the lat dropping early is that if you drop it too soon, it's going to encourage a rotation in this hip, which we are not allowed to do. Because if we rotate that hip, we get to the outer edge, and if we get to the outer edge of the foot, we're not going to utilize the ankle because it doesn't feel right. Go ahead and take some time on your own, swing your hip to the outer edge of your foot, and then try to roll up to the ball of the foot on your ankle. It won't feel right. So we have to, even if we're going to engage that lat, the hip bone has to keep working hard to get over the ball of the foot. That has to finish your step. Some people say align the collarbone, the hip, and the ball of the foot, or the shoulder, hip ball, whatever you want to think about it, fine. But bottom line is that hip bone has to get aligned over the ball of the foot. So if I've used I'm going to time it all again. So getting the soft knee put in there. So we have 1, 2 of the ankle is getting straight on the soft knee, and it's getting that upper body engaged as well. So it's 1, 2. So at this point, when the leg is straight, you should feel your lat working back and your right side, or in your opposite side of your rib cage working forward. Now here is where it would be very easy to rotate. Don't rotate. Use your hip swing. Continue to work both your ankle and your rib and your lat as you swing your hip to the front of the foot. Keep it on the inside edge ball of the foot. Now here, really focus on, let's say, we're going to try this time thinking about that lat and dropping it down as you engage more swing and lift to roll to the ball of the foot there. Now you can rotate as you bring that rib cage through the rest of the way to take your next step. So what this introduced now is different because this step we didn't start with that heel all the way down. So the reason that's different is because when we started from a standstill, that heel was flat, and you have all this time to use the ankle. Just so you're aware, that's an unrealistic amount of time that you'll have to use the ankle. It's okay to do all the practices I said so that you can elongate the ankle to harmonize other movements with it. But just be aware that after you get used to the creating the ankle lift before you place the foot, by the time that you land in your split weight position, it's going to be time to swing the hip already because the ankle already activated. And you'll have to feel that work with everything else that we want you to do in the upper body, the rib cage, the lat, the hips, the knees, the ankles, all that has to work together. I think it's okay. Go ahead and start working it flat if this feels better, but just be aware that you should slowly start your start position not so flat on that heel, but getting it up a bit. Just be careful that you're not doing so at the sacrifice of your start position, meaning your start position being that knee forward, hip back away from where the knee is, upper body standing tall. You could get more specific about the upper body, but it's really a matter of timing, so ignore that. So yeah, ankle with the knee straightening in the upper body. Don't let the hip rotate here. Swing the hip and keep working the upper body. Get the hip pitched over the ball of the foot here and lift, and then bend and place the next step so that you can then repeat feeling that same feeling from behind, straightening, harmonizing, working the upper body together, and then creating the continuous movement on the lower body. Yeah? So hope that was helpful. Always thinking about good posture. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I won't see you before. Thanks everybody who's been tuning in, and to those who haven't, you're getting coal for Christmas. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Have a good one, guys.